In this video, I'm going to show you how we at Nordic Dudes write our emails for our weekly newsletter, The Weekly Pillage. We're not experts and we don't know everything, but we have sent an email every week for 85 weeks straight. So let's not waste any time and get straight into it. These are the 5 steps that we use to write our emails. Step 1 is the idea. So when it comes to finding ideas for our emails, the way we usually start is that we look at what we've been doing the past week and if there have been any activities within Nordic Dudes that we could talk about in our emails. Because our emails are a lot about sharing the journey of building Nordic Dudes, and we want to share that journey with our subscribers. So what you could do is look at your past week and write down some ideas or activities that you have done and see if any of them could be interesting to your email subscribers, and see if this is something that you could turn into something interesting. The second thing we use for idea is Apple Notes apps. So I have on my iPhone the Apple Notes app where I have a little section where I write down ideas that I get throughout the week. So it could be that I'm out for a walk or something and then I get this idea and then I immediately write it down on my Apple Notes app. Or it could be literally anything. I just try to have the phone always handy, so whenever I get an idea, I can write it down immediately. So I look at those or that list of ideas and see if there's anything interesting there that I can use for this week's email. And the third thing is brand related stuff. So for example, if you're about to do a product launch, then maybe you want to write an email about the product you're going to sell, or maybe a discount or a promotion or something like that. So that could be something that you could use as well to write your emails, but that is a little bit more specific and time specific. It might not be something that you could use every week to get an email out like you could with, for example, the Apple Notes or the looking at what you've done this past week. And after you've picked an idea, the next step is to write the actual email. What I'll do with you guys is that I'll share my screen and then I'll write an email for this coming week's newsletter for Nordic Dudes. Then you'll see how we do it, and it shouldn't take much more than 20 to 30 minutes for us to write this email, and it shouldn't take more than 20, 30 minutes for you either. So as you can see here right now, it's currently 2:50 p.m. here, and what I'll do is I'll start writing the email, and then we'll see what the time is when we're done. All right, let's get straight into it. All right, so we're in here now in Apple Pages, and this is currently email 86, and this email is scheduled to be published on or sent to our subscribers on the 9th of April. The idea for this email is about the Help Bank e-commerce accelerator program, which is a program that me and my brother have currently joined, which talks about, if you know Simon Squibb, he helps people with businesses and things like that, and it's kind of like a contest where you can win $2,500. So we thought we'd share that event, or share that with our email subscribers, because that's part of building the business and part of the journey, so we want to share that with them. So that's what we'll talk about in today's email. So I'll start writing here immediately, and then we'll see how it goes. The email is now finished, and we have completed writing the email. It's not a super long email, but I did focus on making sure that the sentences were short, it's easy to read, and there is a little bit of fun and comedy in the email. Step 3 now is to make it even funnier and include more jokes and make sure that's even more interesting to read. So for that, we'll go into ChatGPT, and we'll use a GPT that I'll show you to make it a little bit better and make it more funny. All right, so we are here in ChatGPT, and we use a specific GPT that I think you can get here from, if you go in here and press Explore GPTs, and then just write in Jokesmith or Joke Edits for stand-up comedy, then you'll get this GPT, and we use that to help us write our emails. So at this point, what I would do is I would just go in here and then write something like, let's see. So I just write, I wrote this email, help me make it better and funnier. And then I just copy and paste the email in there, and then we'll see what it gives us. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to read through this real quick and see how this email is, and then maybe make a few adjustments, and then I'll keep you updated. All right, so I've now read through the response that ChatGPT gave me to this email, and actually really like it. It's really funny and it's really good. So the next step is to put it into the Hemingway editor and make it easier to understand and make sure that the reading level is below 3. So we'll go and do that now. So what I'll do in here now is just make edits to the email to make sure that the email gets below reading level 3. So right now the readability is grade 5. We want to get that below 3 if we can. I don't always succeed at it, but getting it as low as possible is the goal here. So I've now finished editing the email in Hemingway editor, and I've made it a little bit better at reading and gotten the reading level down from a grade 5 to a grade 4, which is a really low level. I mean, the goal is 3, but if we get it at even 5 would have been fine. But if we could get it lower to 4 is also good, and 3 would have been great. But at this point, I think that 4 is fine. It's a really good email, and it's not very difficult to read. And in general, I really like the email the way it is. All right, so we've now finished editing the email, and it is now 3:09, and it took us 19 minutes to finish this email. At this point, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read the email for you, and then you can hear it, and then you can judge for yourself what you think about it. Hello, fellow Viking. We've taken a bold new step to grow our business. Yes, it involves a bit of glorious risk. This Monday, we entered the Helpbank Ecom Accelerator. This is Simon Squibb's program where you build an e-commerce business in just 4 weeks, no pressure. Just mild panic and questionable sleep schedules. Since we already have something awesome going with you and Nordic Dudes, we figured why not go full Viking? You know, YOLO, but with better beards. We genuinely think our Viking mentality gives us a solid shot at winning this, or at least a very honorable defeat. We'll keep you updated as things unfold. Victories, chaos, and everything in between. Until then, go and create Wunjo, Skål, Gabriel, and Isaac, Chief Viking Officers. And that is the email. So at this step, since I'm building this business with my brother, what I would do is I would send this email to him and let him have a look at the email and see what he thinks. And then he might make some changes here and there or say it's really good. Most of the time with us, because we kind of had the same humor and we like the way we both work, it's usually the case that we either make very small changes or we say that we really like the email. This brings us to step 5, which is sending the email. So once both of us have approved the email, what one of us does, it usually changes. Sometimes it's me, sometimes it's him. But what we do is one of us goes into Klaviyo, our email software. Then we put the email in there and make a few minor changes just to make it look good and make sure it looks good on desktop and mobile. And then we schedule the email for Thursdays. That's when we send our emails. And then we're done. That's basically it. Now, another thing that I haven't mentioned in this video is that when it comes to subject lines, so I know a lot of people like to test subject lines, and I understand that that is a very important thing to do, especially if you are testing, for example, a product or you are doing a promotion or something like that. You want to know which subject line creates the highest open rates. But we're right now just sharing the journey. So we try to make our subject lines as enticing as possible, but we don't test them or do A/B testing or anything like that. We just take one that we really like and then we stick with that one and just choose that one. The question you might ask yourself is, why are we doing this? So the main reason why we're doing this is because we don't have a product yet, right? So we're building the product. We're working hard to getting it finished and being able to launch and being able to show it to our entire audience. But while this is going on, we don't want to just sit here and not do anything. So we asked ourselves, what can we do instead? And that's when we were like, okay, we want to have an email list and have, a certain number of subscribers and have an audience already that knows about us and knows who we are when we launch. So when we actually launch our swim shorts, we already have a warm audience that is already been getting emails every Thursday for months and months on end, or until, or however long it takes. So when that email with our product finally arrives in their mailbox, they already know, oh, this is Nordic Dudes. These are the guys that have been sending me emails every Thursday. And then we already have a somewhat warm audience. And this helps us build trust with our audience from day one when we launch our product. So the main lesson to take away here from this video is, and what I want to show with this video is that if you have a business, I strongly recommend that you start a newsletter or have an email list, and then you send, doesn't have to be weekly, you can do monthly as well, or daily if you have a lot of content that you can talk about, but send regular, consistent emails to your subscribers, and then keep doing that, because that will help you so much, whether you've launched your product or you haven't launched yet, but it will really help your product. So don't overcomplicate it. Keep it really simple. As I showed you today, it took 20 minutes to write this email, and we got a really nice email, I think, in 20 minutes. So don't overcomplicate it. Just take action and then move forward and learn from there. Obviously, there is a little bit of things before and after writing the email that might also take a little bit of time. So if you don't have an idea, you might have to spend a couple of minutes beforehand to come up with an idea. But if you already have an idea and do the things that I said in the beginning of the video, then you will actually have an idea. And then, of course, there's a couple of minutes afterwards where you have to take the email and put it into whatever email software you use and schedule it and all that. But in total, it shouldn't be much more than 20, 30 minutes in order to get this done, especially if you already have an idea ready or know somewhat about what you want to talk in your emails about. I hope you liked this video, and I hope you thought this was useful, and this will help you write better emails in the future. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a nice day. Bye.